head first. You gotta make sure you don't hit the rocks at the bottom. Concussion.
We'll get over the
Welcome to the last advisory meeting of the year for State Center Consortia. It's been a really quick year. I don't know if it's gone as fast for you all as it has for me, but we're at that point where we're wrapping things up, and so thank you for being here and taking your morning to join us once again. I will first ask for approval of our meeting minutes from the March 19th meeting, and those are in the blue in our packet there. So if we can review those and get a motion in a second.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Jim and Doug, thank you very much. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, great. So because it's the last meeting of the year, and I know we all know each other well, but I do want to just have a quick opportunity to go around the room and make quick introductions. There are a couple folks that are new with us this morning, and it might be nice for them to get an idea of who all is represented with us this morning. So with that, we'll just go clockwise. So Suzanne, we'll start with you and go around the table.
I'm Suzanne Spradling, and I am the E3 Network Development Coordinator here at the consortium.
I'm Jen Renee, President of Business Code. Donna Cooper, Basic Skills Coordinator of Fresno City and State Center Community College District.
George Rayleigh, Vice Chancellor of Educational Services, State Center Community College District.
Good morning. Ron Nishinaka, Board Trustee, State Center Community College.
Al Owen, President, Phi Delta Kappa Chapter.
Scott Lewis, District Coordinator, Carpenters Training Committee for Northern California.
Jim Chen, Dean of Instruction, Madera Center.
Alan Holman, Vice Principal, School of Engineering and Technology at Madera High.
Kathy Woods, Director of Curriculum and Instruction for the County Office of Education.
Randy Seals, Principal, Yosemite High School.
Nancy Penny, Principal, Sanger Adult School.
Deborah Marvin, Superintendent, Valley ROP.
Howard John McHugh, Assistant Principal, Fireball Unified School District.
Marie Harris, Interim Dean of Instruction at Ridley College.
Ken Woods, Vice President of Instruction, Fresno City College.
Jake Jackson, Dean of Applied Technology, Fresno City College.
Don Neal, today representing the American Air Museum in Brittany.
Doug Betts, Bill Smiley Aviation Center and Fresno Chamber of Commerce.
Jim Volkoff, Director of Secondary Ed, Determined Unified.
Amanda Martin, Career Education Coordinator, Sierra Vista High School.
Nina Bielbeck, Home Economics, Careers and Technology.
Pat Flatley, Principal, Central Adult School.
Paul Burrell, Director of Secondary and Adult Education Center Unified.
Ed Schmazel, Learning Director at Clovis High School, soon to be Learning Director at Clovis Adult School.
Dan Stilson, Learning Director at Clovis Adult School, soon to be retiree at Clovis Adult School.
Obina DeYoung, I'm the Career Center Coordinator for Buchanan High School. Michelle Calandra, Regional Executive Director for Junior Team at Northern California.
Mark Emmons, Fresno County Alphabet.
Valerie Simpson, Vice Principal, CTE, Fresno Middle School.
Sally Fowler, Executive Officer of College and Career Readiness for Fresno Unified.
Jonathan Delano, Assistant Principal at Sanger High School.
Aaron Hope, State Center Consortium Staff.
Debbie Cardoza, State Center Consortium Assistant. Sherry Watkins, AB86 Adult Education Coordinator.
Christina Valencia, Articulation Officer for the State Center Consortium.
And y'all know me, I'm the Director of State Center Consortium. So in your packets, as usual, there is a list of our directory. And if you ever notice any changes or updates that need to happen, please let us know so we can keep that current. But we are so glad that you're here with us this morning. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention before we get into all of our consortium highlights is this insert that was in the Fresno Bee on Saturday, March 29th, and I'm sure some of you, or many of you, have seen this already, but we got additional copies in case you weren't able to keep one. This insert was over 20 pages and encompassed all of the technical education programs, well, many of them, I should say, in our region. Even outside of our service area. Some of those included Duncan, Edison, Hart, McLean, Kingsburg, Valley ROP and all of their districts, Clovis Unified, Minarets, Central Unified, and then there was a special piece on the Fresno City College Career Technology Center out off of Annandale. And I just thought this was really exciting to see that there was some spotlights being put on the amazing programs that we have here. And that this is just creating a broader awareness for folks in our community about the value of CTE. So I encourage you to take some time, if you haven't already, to go through this or hang it up on your wall like I'm going to do, because this is why we're all here, really, is to continue supporting these programs. And so I wanted to give you all a chance to have a copy of that. Okay, let's see. All right, so I wrote a couple things down because I didn't want to forget things. Oh, and we also want to mention that Rick Watson from CART is with us online this morning, so good morning, Rick. We're glad that you're there. So the end of a year is a time for reflection. What challenges did we overcome? What new strategies have been embraced? What relationships have been born or reinvigorated? And perhaps most importantly, how can we continue to help students be their most successful. For me, this year has represented growth. Not just growth in terms of the number of participating partners, but growth embodied in a unified mission, a joint effort, a common purpose. Visions were aligned when districts willingly sacrificed independence for regionalism. Unity emerged from every level of collaboration. From the Central Valley Career Technical Education Conference to the California Career Pathways Trust application process, I believe this year has stretched and strengthened our State Center Consortium partnership. This energy has been contagious, and it has encompassed us all. I want to thank you all for your dedication and commitment to State Center Consortium, because we could not do what we do without you all. So thank you very much. I'm proud to serve among such an amazing group of CTE leaders, and I look forward to continuing to work closely with each of you as we strive to continue our growth together. So I just wanted to say that as we started our meeting. I also want to take a moment to thank my staff. A huge thank you to my amazing team that works diligently behind the scenes to pull off incredible events and provide amazing services to our partners. Every last one of them goes above and beyond to do as much as we can, even with a limited staff. So can we just give ourselves all a round of applause? So there's all the sentimental stuff. And you also noticed you got a Crunch bar this morning, and so I'm just going to throw this out there right now. It's not just because we, love chocolate around here. It's because there were several times this year where it was crunch time around here. And, unfailingly, you all stepped up to the plate, and you were amazing partners, and so we appreciated that. So thanks for coming through in a crunch. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Okay, so the green sheet in your packet reviews all of the events that State Center Consortium either hosted or sponsored this year with our partners. And the total at the bottom shows that nearly 6,000, and this is administrators, counselors, teachers, and students were impacted by some sort of event that our partners did that we were able to help support. So we wanted to provide that to you. In addition, each year what we do is we set goals at the beginning of each year, and towards the end we review those goals and we create our critical outcomes, things that we felt that we worked to achieve this year as a group. And so I have a sheet listed here of what those are, so I'll just go through them quickly. Increased visibility to broaden our network. The first we have listed is that we expanded our educational partnerships. This year, 6 new organizations joined State Center Consortium. We have 67 advisory members that represent 21 K-12 districts, 5 State Center Community College district agencies, 3 universities, 2 county offices of education, and we had an average attendance this year of over 45 people at our advisory meetings. So I feel that that's outstanding participation. And we're excited to have increased our advisory membership and those partnerships. I listed also the Career Pathways Trust under this expansion of partnerships because this was really an amazing learning experience. And I'll take this moment to give an update on the Career Pathways Trust. As you all know, a couple weeks ago, we received notification from the Department of Education that we were qualified to interview. And this was for the $15 million category for the Regional Collaborative application. They were only interviewing at that tier. And I think initially there were 28 applications that came in at that level. And I know quite a few have been eliminated. I'm not quite sure how many groups were interviewed. We tried to count them up, and we're thinking it's somewhere around 12, but we're not sure. They're intending to award 10 of those throughout the state of California. And so to be included in that final round was very special and very exciting for us to know that we had made it to that part. So Monday, just day before yesterday, a group of us went up to Sacramento to participate in the interview. And on behalf of State Center Consortium, we had an interview team of 6. myself, David Clark from Reedley College, Dan Chacon from Sanger High, Sally Fowler from Fresno Unified, and then 2 business partners, Deb Danville and also Daryl Technis from PPG Industries. And then we were also allowed to have folks in the audience that represented our consortium as well, and Dr. Rayleigh was there, thank you, and several others. So we had our interview, and I'm very proud of the outcome. It was an amazing day, and I think it was a great learning experience for us all to have had that time together. We rode the train up and back, and I really feel like we represented State Center Consortium as best as we possibly could have. And so we will find out if we will be awarded or not next week. They are expecting to make the announcements Tuesday the 27th, so 6 more days. And we'll see. As soon as I know something, I will definitely forward it out to everyone. But this was a very intense process, and it was a I think being there in that interview, sitting on that panel with that team was very rewarding, and I think it validated all of that hard work. So thank you all again for being a part of that and for helping pull all those pieces together, because we certainly could not have done that without you all. So are there any questions about the Career Pathways Trust or any comments before we continue on? Just wanted to give you folks an opportunity because that's the buzz. Okay. So we'll see, and I will definitely keep you posted, but I think we really represented our region well. All right. AB 86 Adult Education Consortia was also a new way to expand our educational partnerships, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but that is a new project coming out of the State Chancellor's Office for us to develop a plan for adult education. We've also expanded our business partnerships. Back in February at the conference, we launched our Employer and Education Engagement Network, and as you all know, Suzanne has been with us since the fall and has really been working hard to get all of the fundamental groundwork laid so that we can get businesses more engaged in our schools. And if we get the grant, that will just have a really huge boost to it. But whether or not we're funded, that is a resource that we are planning to continue to develop. And then, of course, the Central Valley Career Technical Education Conference on February 4th was a great opportunity for businesses and other folks that might not be as familiar with CTE or what we have available in our area to come and learn about the programs and how they can be involved and support CTE. Access funding sources. For the second year in a row, we were fortunate enough to have an allocation from our State Center Community College District Educational Services Division. Thank you, Dr. Rayleigh. And that fund helped support Christina's position as Articulation Officer in our office. We also have continued to receive funding from our CTE Teach Grant, which supports Shelley Powell as a teacher mentor. And we have got confirmation from them that they're expecting to continue that next year, which will be 2 years past what they said they were going to eliminate it. So we're excited to continue that service. And then we have the Adult Education Consortia, which is a new source of funding. We are the fiscal agent. The Community College District is a fiscal agent, and the consortium is kind of overseeing that source of funds. We have hired Sherry Watkins as our full-time AB 86 project coordinator, and she is on loan to us from Fresno Unified, and we're excited to have her on board. And she is working very hard to coordinate this regional comprehensive plan for adult education. It is a planning grant, but they've given us 16 months total to put a plan together, and so we've had to really pull a lot of partners from a lot of different places, community-based organizations, adult schools, and community college faculty, and many, many others to make that, start pulling that together. And then finally, of course, we applied for the Career Pathways Trust grant. So we will see how that goes. We are in a kind of limbo, I guess I could say. The State Center Consortium, as I've mentioned before, some of the grant funds that we have been receiving for the last 5 or 6 years through the Chancellor's Office, it has been allocated in a different way. They're doing it regionally now instead of by college district. So that dramatically reduces that allocation that we receive. So if we do not receive the Career Pathways Trust grant, then you may see a reduction in services next year. We are trying to see what we can do to continue still to provide what we've been able to do with the reduced amount of funds that we would be receiving. So we're, like I said, we're anxiously awaiting the grant results, but we do intend to still be here next year. It just may be a little less, amount of events, or we might be limited on what we're able to do. Yes, Doug, question?
This is a really big, huge deal, and I just want to express appreciation to you and the consortium for taking leadership on this, and we just can't get past this with a round of applause for them, please.
But it was a joint effort for sure. I think everybody really played a key role in pulling it together, but I appreciate that. And we'll see how things go. But like I said, we do plan to be around, and we are always investigating additional sources of funding. So even though the community collaborative grants will be decreased, then we'll keep turning over rocks until we can find a way to make this happen. So. All right, provided collaboration events for high school and college faculty. New relationships were fostered through our professional development events and collaboration days. We Shelley has started an amazing new trend with CT Teach, where she takes the high school instructors to the community college campuses and really helps to link those programs from secondary to post-secondary. She calls it her Bridge to College training, which is excellent. And then again, we hosted a counselor workshop this March, where we put together high school and community college counselors together, and I'll talk more about that in a moment as well, but again, new relationships. And then greater college awareness and participation, and we're excited to have more folks from our colleges be participating in our events. And then finally, we noted that we have been engaged in high school articulation dialogue. As you know, there are some changes, and Christina's going to have her report here in a minute, but we have been participating in a high school articulation work group. We've been meeting frequently, and we have been serving as the communication liaison regarding the college policy on articulation, and so we thought that that was important to list that as a critical outcome of this year. Any questions on our year in review section? Okay, I'll just keep moving forward then. The next, what would this be, beige buff colored packet, is the responses from the survey that we sent out a couple weeks ago when we did our reminder email. And this was just a survey that we send out each year to our advisory members, asking for input on our strengths and how we can improve what we're doing. And I think overall it was pretty well received. I did highlight, as I was reading through its strengths, collaboration or collaborative and communication were both mentioned several times. And I think that if we're doing both of those things well, then I'm happy with that. We appreciate your comments. And one other thing I do want to mention is when you get to the resources section, that is the use of resources. So I don't want you to look at the scores and think we have horrible resources. It's just some people don't use them as much. So we're just trying to assess how much these resources are being utilized, so that we can determine whether or not we should continue some of these things. And then we also collected some demographic data from our advisory members that responded. And of course, I just want to highlight on the very last page again, that green pie chart, which represents our membership, those that replied to the survey. And I like how it still seems to be a pretty even cut of pie. We have folks that have been here less than a year and folks that have been here 16 years or more, and everyone in between. And so I think that that represents a good diverse group of folks. So I'll leave the rest of that for your evening reading. All right. The highlighter yellow color, because it's very bright, neon yellow, that we put on here, is just for our planning for next year. And this this was incorporated on the survey. So if you completed the electronic survey, you don't have to necessarily fill this out, but we wanted to give folks an opportunity to still give us input on what things they would like to see or priorities that they would like to have for us in our planning for next year. This is how we always organize our workshops, is by advisory input. So if there's a particular pathway area that you feel your teachers need to have additional training or collaboration in, please let us know so that we can prioritize those and plan accordingly. So if you haven't completed the survey online, please feel free to complete this and give it to us before you leave today, or you can always send it in later, but sometimes it's nice to just get those before you leave because we all get busy with other things. Okay, so we're going to go to our articulation update, which is in the purple, and I'm going to hand it over to Christina.
All right, you have this purple handout here, and this is the last articulation report for the year, and it kind of sums up what's happened for this semester. And you have the pending teacher edits. So these are applications that are pending that I have sent back to the teacher asking for additional information or documents. The other one is this one. These are pending at the curriculum analyst level, so she's waiting to review them and send them on over to the department dean, the appropriate department dean. And then the next one is the ones that are pending at the department dean level. And then we have the ones at the department chair level. And then right under that one are the ones that were approved for this semester with credit by exam. And Lori had also mentioned that we are participating in an articulation. There have been a lot of changes that are ongoing and being discussed with